You've been watching Talkin' Baseball, a wrap-up of today's Eau Claire Cavalier game. This has been a production of NLWN-TV. NLWN-TV now brings you the In the Dugout show. A look at today's Eau Claire Cavalier game. And now, join us in the dugout.
Hello and welcome to today's edition of In the Dugout. Rick Olson here in the NLWN-TV studios, and we're getting ready to bring you Eau Claire Cavalier baseball as the Cavaliers, who are 10-6 in the Chippewa River Baseball League, get back into league action when they take on the Eau Claire Rivermen, who are 10-7. and are only a half a game behind the Cavaliers. Now, coming up in this edition of In the Dugout, we'll take a look at today's game between the Cavs and the Rivermen. Then we'll get Cavalier manager Ryan Bemnister's perspective on today's game in the Ryan Bemnister Show. Following that, with the races being tight, we'll take a quick look around the Chippewa River Baseball League to see where things stand. Also, we'll take a moment to get to know one of this season's Cavalier players in Cavalier Profile. Finally, we'll bring you all the play-by-play action of today's game from Carson Park in Eau Claire. So it's time to get ready for some baseball action, and we'll do just that. Coming up right after this brief timeout, you're tuned to In the Dugout on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Part-time job, full-time hustle, all-time shero to all of us. You nurture, we listen. You teach, we thrive. You lift our spirits, but we've got to lay down the truth. It's time for you, our shero, to stretch for the stars. A free online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Start saving more for retirement so you can feel prepared and live your life to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Welcome back to In the Dugout. Very shortly, the Eau Claire Cavaliers will take on the Eau Claire Rivermen from Carson Park in Eau Claire in a very critical CRBL contest in the wild card race. The Cavaliers are coming off an 8-5 loss to the Marshfield Chaparrals Monday night in a non-league game. In that game, the Cavaliers were led at the plate by Tyson Woodcock, who went 2 for 4, which accounted for his first 2 hits as a Cavalier, including an RBI.
Jersley at the belt and delivers. Fly ball out into right field. He's got a base hit, and it's an RBI hit because in to score is Luke Erickson.
Now, this game had an unusual lineup with players playing positions that they normally don't play, including Lucas Costley, who's normally a pitcher. And he was pinch hitting in the 5th inning and produced an RBI double.
A .667 batting average. Hard shot. That's going to hit the warning track. Rounding third, coming in to score. Costley's going to check in with a double. I'll tell you what, the kid never gets a chance to hit, and all he does when he does get a chance is put it into play. Lucas Costley with an RBI double.
Jack Redwine produced the first Cavalier run with an RBI single, scoring Xavier Bemnister in the 1st inning.
And the runners go. Line shot out into right field for a base hit. Bemnister rounds third. He's coming to the plate. O'Brien's going to check into third, and an RBI single for Jack Redwine puts the Cavaliers on the board.
Cooper Kapanke drove in his brother Campbell with a sacrifice fly to center field in the 5th inning.
O'Brien takes off. Kapanke flies it to center field. Coming in is Bauman, and he makes the catch. Tagging and scoring will be Campbell Kapanke.
Defensively, Gabe O'Brien robbed Chaparral batter Logan Homelka of a home run with a catch at the fence in the top of the 9th.
Bemnister winds and delivers. Fly ball to right field. It's fairly deep. Back and making the catch against the fence is Gabe O'Brien. A spectacular catch out there against the fence.
On the mound, Caden Erickson made his pitching debut, going 4 innings and giving up 8 runs to take the loss. Jake Fisher, Ben Boda, and Xavier Bemnister combined to pitch 5 scoreless innings to keep the Cavaliers in striking distance. Now today the Cavaliers will take on the Eau Claire Rivermen, who are only a half a game behind the Cavaliers in the CRBL wildcard race. These two teams met back on June 26th, with the Rivermen coming out on top 4-3 in 11 innings. Now in that game, the Rivermen were led by Joe Davis, who went 2 for 4 with a double and picked up 2 RBI. Sawyer Sturz went 1 for 4, driving in the winning run in the bottom of the 11th inning when he singled, and Lance Lettner scored from second. Tyler Gray pitched all 11 innings for the Rivermen, giving up 3 runs on 10 hits while walking 3 and striking out 6. Now coming into this game, leading the way for the Cavaliers at the plate is Caden Erickson, who's hitting at a .340 pace and has driven in 10 RBI on 33 hits, including 8 doubles. Now right behind Erickson with a .324 batting average is Cooper Kapanke, who has 23 hits, including 6 doubles. Campbell Kapanke at .305 rounds out the Cavaliers, hitting over 300. On the mound, the Cavaliers are being led by Lucas Costley. He's posted a 6-0 record with a 2.16 ERA and has struck out 48 in his 50 innings pitched, including 3 complete games. Andrew Milner has a 2.88 ERA with a 3-2 record and leads the team in strikeouts with 61 in 40 2/3 innings pitched. As a staff, the Cavaliers have a combined ERA of 4.72 with a whip of 1.75. Now coming up next, following this timeout, we'll get manager Ryan Bemnister's perspective as we chat with him on The Ryan Bemnister Show. You're tuned to In the Dugout on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Let NLWN-2 and the Northern Light Webcasting Network bring you some tough semi-pro gridiron action. Our next broadcast will be on Saturday, July 22nd, when we will bring you the Eau Claire Cowboys taking on the Madison Mad Dogs from Verona, Wisconsin. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN-2 begins with Cowboy Kickoff at 2:40 p.m. That's live Eau Claire Cowboy football on Saturday, July 22nd on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2.
The Goat Coffee House on Water Street in Eau Claire presents The Ryan Bemnister Show, where Cavalier manager Ryan Bemnister gives us his perspective on today's game. And now, The Ryan Bemnister Show.
Once again, we're at the Goat Coffee House talking with Cavalier manager Ryan Bemnister. And Ryan, today the Cavaliers will take on the Eau Claire Rivermen in a really important Chippewa River Baseball League game. But before we get to that one, back on Monday, the Cavaliers dropped a non-league game to the Marshfield Chaparrals 8-5, where we witnessed, well, could best be described as an unusual Cavalier lineup. Your comments about that game?
Well, it was an unusual lineup, and we treated that game because Marshfield's a good team and they're a fun team to play and very respectable and stuff. So we just wanted to throw off a little bit. We wanted to make sure we saved all our arms. We've been pitching a lot of guys. We had a lot of games in the last couple of weeks, and a lot of guys were tired. Even position players were tired from playing a lot. Cole needed a break, even though his bat's been heating up lately, and you know he was texting with me earlier in the day, and he's like, "Can I just have the night off?" I'm like, "Of course you can. We got a backup catcher that was out of town. I didn't know, so so we kind of floated around to a couple of guys, and hey, one of the guys stepped up and caught a pretty good game. But it was one of those nights where you know you don't want to lose a game, but if you're gonna lose a game, make it a non-conference game, and make sure that the boys are having fun.
And the picture of Cole Timon sitting outside the dugout in that lawn chair, just relaxing and being like the old sage wisdom that he shows at the ripe old age of, what, about 25 or
right about that, yeah. No, it was good. I mean, like I said, he needed that. A couple of the other guys needed just a game to work on some stuff. We've had a few guys slumping lately, and I think they kind of figured some things out. The swings were a little bit better. We're seeing some guys figure some stuff out, which is good because we need to get everybody on the same page for being hot at the same time going into this next stretch of 4 really important games.
Now, Caden Erickson, who's usually an infielder for the Cavs, gave up all 8 Marshfield runs in his 4 innings of work, but he threw strikes. And he was followed by Jake Fisher, Ben Boda, and Xavier Bemnister, and who pretty much shut down the Chaparrals.
Yeah.
And now, can you talk about those pitching performances?
Well, it's 2 of those guys are guys that are going to pitch for us anyways. I mean, Fish and Hav are pitchers. Hav's obviously a position player too, but we needed to get Fish back out on the mound because of the other day he came off and he had a little bit of hip flexor. He just want to make sure he was feeling right, and we kind of had a cap of about 20-25 on him, just in case we need to use him for the game today. As far as Ben Boda goes, Ben pitched for me when he was younger and stuff, and he was just really excited when he saw Caden get the pitch. So it was almost like the youthfulness came out in him. I told you that, even though they're still only 20-year-old kids. But he just got this little look in his eyes like, hey, can I throw tonight? And I'm like, you know what? It wouldn't be a bad idea, because if I can find something in somebody, maybe down the road here we might need. He
pitched really, really well.
And 2 shutout innings for him, and I mean, I think he got in a little bit of a pickle in the second inning that he pitched. He loaded the bases up, but got out of it.
Right.
So
he kept his composure and threw the ball where it needed to go.
Yeah, and that's it. And then with Xavier, we knew we needed to get him back out on the mound. He was on the mound a couple weeks ago. Threw well for us there, and he was working on a couple of pitches. And it's hard with guys like Fisher and Xavier, because those guys are pitchers, and you're working with Cody Dayton, who's not a catcher.
Right.
So they looked at Cody's asking how many pitches they got, and I go, Fish has got 3 or 4, and Xavier's got about 6, and he's like, I can catch 2. So it kind of was, what's your best pitches to throw?
Yeah.
And what do you want to work on? So I mean, it was kind of funny that way, and again, Cody did a great job, but the pitching performances, even Caden throwing a lot of strikes, he was very limited on his pitch count after the 4th inning. It was only 50 or 60 pitches through 4. I mean, it was really good pitch count, but I mean, it was in the zone, and those guys were hitting the ball well, and that's what Marshfield does. They're a good team.
Well, and they had 3 runs across the plate, and I'm not sure he had gotten to double digits in pitch count yet.
No, I think it was 4 pitches that he threw to 3 guys.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, they're putting runs across.
Yeah.
And which tells you he's throwing strikes.
Yep.
But
we knew he would. He pitched again. He was one of these kids that pitched for me, back in the Babe Ruth days and the senior Babe Ruth days and stuff like that. So, I knew they could pitch, and it was just the perfect timing, because we do have a couple of non-conference games here coming up. There's one with Marshfield, and we got Holman, and we got Carson and Holman mixed in with these other 4 conference games. So we're gonna need to have things like that happen. So you won't be shocked if you see Ben throw again, or Caden throw again, or even Jack. We're talking about Jack Redwine throwing again. Campbell's been kidding with me because he wanted to try, and I'm like, you know what? These non-conference games at the end of the year,
why not?
It's the perfect time to do it.
Now, Tyson Woodcock brought smiles to everybody's face because he's been trying all year and just had some of the rottenest luck at the plate. Finally got his first 2 hits as a Cavalier, which brought really an enthusiastic reaction from the Cavalier dugout. Can you talk about the importance of those hits for Woodcock?
Well, just to get your first hits as a Cavalier is important to begin with. Unfortunately, it's taken this long, and it's not like he was going up there and striking out every time. He put the ball in play every time he was up there for the most part. He was on base plenty of times, getting hit or walked. So his approach to the play is really good. To see him finally just kind of break that seal was really nice. And he's one of these kids that we're going to kind of depend on a little bit more down the stretch here, considering the fact we're going to lose Cooper, here in the next couple of weeks or so. So we're going to need him playing first base, which he filled in the first, the beginning of the year, played at first. Plays a very good first base. So we're going to need him to do that kind of stuff, so I need to have his bat.
Right, you can't have 8 hitters and an out. You need
Yep, and we knew Tyson would put the ball in play anyways, and I knew he was going to get a hit. It just depends on when it was going to happen.
It just had to break that monkey's back.
Yeah, and it's we talked with a couple other guys that had the same kind of struggles. Cole was like an 0 for 23 streak, during a stretch of play, and he's like, it presses on you, presses on you. It just relax, let it come to you. It'll be fine. It's not a big deal.
Well, I think about Xavier last year. It took him nearly half the season to get his first hit of the year, and now he's right in the mix amongst the leading hitters for the Cavs.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things which is, and Tyson is another, Xavier's a great example for that, for Tyson. Tyson's a pitcher in college.
Mm-hmm.
He comes here and we ask him to do something else. Xavier's a 2-way player in college, but mostly pitches. So he comes here, we ask him to do something else. So those guys aren't used to doing those type of things, but once they get back into the rhythm, what they did in high school, it's like second nature to them.
Now, today the Cavaliers face the Eau Claire Rivermen, who are only a half a game behind the Cavaliers in the wild card playoff race in the CRBL. Can you tell us about the Rivermen?
Well, we played them a few weeks back, extra inning game. Really, they're a really good team. They're a younger team with a mix of a couple older guys in there, but they're good. They're going to be strong. Their record's 10-7 on the season, so I mean they're right there. You know what they're going to do. We're going to see probably one of their better pitchers. I would assume probably the same guy we saw last time that shut us down.
Tyler Gray, yeah.
Gray that shut us down, or somebody.
Hey, he threw all 11 innings too.
Yeah, I mean he's got a rubber arm and he's a really good pitcher. He's been in the league for a while, so he knows what to do in big games like this. And maybe they'll throw somebody younger against us. I'm not sure who else they have for pitching, but they have to have more than one guy. Mm-hmm. And the lineup is good. They get some speed up there. With that center fielder, he's got some speed on him. He's the one that cost us the game on a couple of plays there at the end of that game. But really, we should have won that game in 9 innings. There was just a mistake done by one of our players not executing at the plate, and I think it weighed with him a little bit for a couple of games, and then he's been strong since, which was really nice to see. Somebody can recover from that. But I think we should have won that game in regulation, and I think we got a good chance of getting a win today.
Now, the last time these two teams met, you mentioned it already a little bit, but the Rivermen did come out on top 4-3. It took 11 innings. Are you expecting anything different in this game, be it either the Cavaliers or the Rivermen?
No, it should be down to the last pitch. I'm assuming it's going to take a walk off, or it's going to take a strikeout at the end of the game, or something like that. It's going to be a close game. I don't foresee anything where it's crazy, where there's a big lead or anything like that. I mean, it's similar to with the Bears. I mean, with rivalry type stuff, when you have all these Eau Claire teams. I mean, Rivermen, Eau Claire, Bears playing Altoona, but I mean, it's still
Eau Claire County.
Yeah, let's go with that. The Eau Claire County Bears. But yeah, those teams, it's rivalry, so they always bring their best, and everybody's going to be hyped up for it. And a little disappointing over the weekend. The boys, played well. You went 2-1 over the weekend in the games they played, but the one game they dropped was a conference game against Bloomer, which really hurts for this position we're in. And I think they were frustrated with that because I feel like they thought they should have won that game.
Hopefully they took that frustrations out in that second game against
I think
Bloomer.
they did. They scored 13 runs, so I think they did. Yeah. But something like that can kind of motivate you to play better, knowing that you should have done a couple of games this year that we should have won. There's 3 at least that I think we should have won, and we didn't, and that puts us in this position where we have to win 4 games. I mean, 4 games is what we have left, and if we win 4 games, then there's no question about if we make the CRBL or not. So we just got to take care of business starting today with the Rivermen, who is one of the teams that we need to knock out of it. And then we get Cadet. It's another team we have to knock out of it. So, those types of things that we have in our control. If we win out, it's in our hands. You know what I mean? So,
well, Ryan, it looks like it's going to be a great day of baseball today with something that, folks, if you're in the area, you still got time, get over to Carson Park. We're going to have some good baseball for you. And hopefully the Cavaliers will continue their drive for that wild card playoff spot.
I sure hope so.
You've been tuned to the Ryan Bempnister Show, presented by the Goat Coffee House on Water Street in Eau Claire, with Cavalier manager Ryan Bempnister's outlook on today's game. Stay tuned. More of In the Dugout is coming right up.
Honey, the kids are antsy. What can we do that will keep all of us entertained and won't break the bank?
How about we take them to the Cavaliers game? Tickets are inexpensive, there's popcorn, hot dogs, and other baseball treats, and great baseball action.
That's right, Eau Claire Cavalier Baseball, your best choice for affordable family entertainment. Check out the schedule at www.eauclaircavaliers.org.
Welcome back to In the Dugout, as we're getting ready to bring you all the action of today's all-important CRBL matchup between the Eau Claire Cavaliers and the Eau Claire Rivermen. Since things are heating up in the Chippewa River Baseball League playoff race, this seems like it would be a good time to take a look at the Chippewa River Baseball League to see where things stand. Now, back on Sunday, the Cavaliers and the Bloomer Woodticks split their doubleheader, with Bloomer winning the opener 3-2, and the Cavaliers taking the nightcap 12-0. The Tilden Tigers pulled off a couple of big wins by sweeping the previously unbeaten Osseo Merchants 20-8 and 13-8. Meanwhile, the Eau Claire Bears took 2 from the Jim Falls Sturgeons, 3-2 and 6-5. The Chippewa Falls Lumberjacks continued their late season push by defeating the Augusta Athletics 9-4 and 12-3, while the Eau Claire Rivermen split their twin bill with the Cadott Red Sox, with the Red Sox winning the first game 7-1 and the Rivermen coming back in the second 5-4. Now that leaves the league standings as follows. In the North, the 17-3 Tilden Tigers now hold a 6.5 game lead over the 8-7 Cadott Red Sox. Meanwhile, the Chippewa Falls Lumberjacks have climbed into third place at 8-9, 7.5 games behind, while the Jim Falls Sturgeons are 9 games out at 6-10, and the 5-12 Bloomer Woodticks are 10.5 games back. In the South, the 16-2 Osseo Merchants hold a 5-game lead over both the 10-6 Eau Claire Cavaliers and the Eau Claire Bears. Now, right behind them are the Eau Claire Rivermen at 10-7, just 5.5 games back. The 1-15 Augusta Athletics and Beef River Bullfrogs are tied for 5th place, 14 games off the pace. This means that with the top 2 seeds in the CRBL playoffs already decided, 5 teams are fighting it out for the final 2 spots. Now, leading the way in the wild card are the Eau Claire Cavaliers and the Eau Claire Bears, each at 10-6. A half a game behind them are the Cadott Red Sox and the Eau Claire Rivermen at 10-7. And with a mathematical chance are the Chippewa Falls Lumberjacks at 8-9, 2.5 games behind the Cavs and the Bears. Now, in addition to the Cavaliers taking on the Rivermen today, the Eau Claire Bears will host the Osseo Merchants at Cinder City Park in Altoona, and the Augusta Athletics will tangle with the Beef River Bullfrogs at Spangberg Field in Strum. Now, coming up next, following this timeout, we'll get to know one of this season's Cavalier players on Cavalier Profile. You're tuned to In the Dugout on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Let NLWN-TV and the Northern Light Webcasting Network take you out to the ballgame. Our next broadcast will be on Friday, July 21st, when we will bring you the Cavaliers taking on the Cadott Red Sox from Carson Park in Eau Claire. This is a makeup game for the one rained out on June 18th. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN-TV begins with the In the Dugout show at 12 noon. That's live Eau Claire Cavalier baseball on Friday, July 21st on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Time now to get to know a Cavalier player on Cavalier Profile. We'll get to know a little better who plays on this year's Eau Claire Cavalier baseball team. And now, Cavalier Profile.
Today on Cavalier Profile, we're talking with Caden Erickson. And Caden, tell us a little about yourself, where you grew up, different levels of baseball you played, and so on.
My name's Caden Erickson. I'm going to be a junior this next year at Hamlin University. I'm playing college baseball there. Unfortunately, we're just shy of the playoffs this last season. Started out hot and then kind of went on the down low, but I grew up in Colfax, Wisconsin, where I played high school baseball. So, all right time there, but getting ready for the summer Cavs. So. And
you played ball as a teammate of one of the arch rivals, right?
Yeah, Drew Gibson, the Rivermen. Yeah, we'll see him a couple times.
A couple times, yeah. There you go. So, when you're not playing baseball, what are some other things that keep you interested and occupied?
I'm big into music, so I play guitar quite a bit. Especially while I'm home in the summer here. I am hanging out with Drew Gibson quite a bit. I think we're going to go to some Twins game coming up here, and just hanging out with the fellas while I'm home. I don't get to see them too often, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, couple rapid fire questions for you. Pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies? You know this one's coming.
Pie, gotta be.
And which kind?
Chocolate silk.
Ooh, yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, a little bit on those really hot days. It's maybe a little heavy, but boy, oh boy, any other time.
Yeah, from Main Street.
How about burgers, brats, or hot dogs?
Burgers.
What do you want on that burger?
Everything they've got.
Everything. You just load it up.
Yeah, load it
okay.
up. Yeah.
Favorite major league team?
Cubs.
Cubs. All right. Now, is there a major league player at any time throughout history who has kind of motivated you and inspired the way you play?
He's probably got to be Chris Bryant right now. He was on that 2016 World Series Cubs team, and I think growing up, watching him have success and then just being like a great teammate the whole time, as well as performing on the field, he's definitely somebody that I try and idolize my game after. So.
Okay. Now, if you had a superpower, what do you think that might be?
Oh, I think it's got to be teleporting. Does that count?
Teleporting, absolutely, yeah.
I don't like driving that much. You know,
okay.
Get to places, you know what I mean? So.
All right. Now, if Caden has the superpower of teleporting, he's got to have a superhero name to go with it. So, what's Caden Erickson's superhero name?
Something easy. I don't know. Captain Caden. How about
Captain Caden? Oh, it's got a ring to it. A little bit of an alliteration in there. And, okay. We're talking with Caden Erickson today on Cavalier Profile. How about a shout out to the family and those fans who are watching you play?
Yeah. Hi, Mom and Dad. I'm sure you'll be watching some live streams if you're not at the real games themselves.
I see them there quite often. So.
Yeah. But if they're not, give a little shout out.
All right, now when people come to Cavalier games, remind us, what number are you going to be wearing and what position or positions do you play?
I'll be wearing number 6, and I'll probably be playing somewhere in the infield, either second, short, or third. So
okay,
right around
anything on the left side sneaking over to the right side of the infield?
That's it.
Okay. We want to thank Caden Erickson for joining us today on Cavalier Profile. And coming up next is more of the In the Dugout show.
This has been Cavalier Profile, where we get to know a little better who plays on the Cavalier baseball team. Stay tuned, more In the Dugout coming right up.
The Eau Claire Cavaliers would like to take veterans out to the ball game. That's right, as a thank you for your service. Any veteran of the United States military can receive a lifetime pass for free admission to all Cavalier home games. Just come to Carson Park with your veteran identification, and the Cavaliers will issue you a free lifetime pass to all Cavalier home games. That's just the Cavaliers' way of saying thank you for your service.
Welcome back to In the Dugout. Today the Cavaliers face off against the Eau Claire Rivermen. And although this game is not quite a must-win game, it's pretty close, as today's game could go a long way toward determining who gets into the CRBL playoffs. Keys to today's game: steady fielding, solid pitching, consistent hitting to move people around the bases. In other words, find a way to win. The Cavaliers are also looking for a little revenge for the 4-3 11-inning loss to the Rivermen back on June 26th. The Rivermen also have their eye on a CRBL wildcard spot, and a win tonight would go a long way toward helping them achieve that. That all means that you're about to see some exciting Cavalier baseball, and we'll have it for you right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Now, in just a moment, I'll be joining the rest of our broadcast crew at Carson Park in Eau Claire, as we'll bring you all the action of today's game between the Eau Claire Cavaliers and the Eau Claire Rivermen. That's coming up next. You've been tuned to In the Dugout on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
You've been watching the In the Dugout show with a look at today's Eau Claire Cavalier game. This has been a presentation of NLWN-TV. Stay tuned. Coming up next is live Eau Claire Cavalier baseball. It happens to everyone eventually. Your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not, Sladen's Technology Services can help. When your computer decides to not cooperate, it It can be very frustrating. Let Slayton's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Slayton's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup, and recovery, and more. Call Slayton's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Slayton's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Eau Claire Cavalier Baseball is on the air. The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV proudly brings you today's Eau Claire Cavalier game. Join us as we follow the Cavs while they battle their way through the Chippewa River Baseball League.
Fly ball into left field. Could it be? Could it be? Way back. Toss the fence and it's out of here. It's a 3-run home run and the Cavaliers take the lead.
And now, out to the ballpark for coverage of today's game.
And good evening. Rick Olson here along with Ben Ryder and Monroe on the computer, Cassie Johnson Nelson on the camera, and we're getting ready to bring you Cavalier baseball in a very important game for the Cavaliers and their CRBL playoff hopes as they take on the Eau Claire Rivermen. Cavaliers come into the game with a 10-6 record in the Chippewa River Baseball League. The Rivermen are 10-7, just a half game behind the Cavaliers. Both teams trying to gain wild card spots in the CRBL playoffs. Tonight is also Glen St. Arnold and Pine Meadow Golf Course night here at Carson Park. And we'll have more about that a little bit later, as Glen St. Arnold is one of the founding fathers of the Cavaliers. And in fact, Ben, you had some interesting stories about Glen from your father. What was he telling us about Glen?
So my father grew up on Congress Street in Eau Claire, and he could hear as a kid Glen St. Arnold, the third base coach, sending a base runner home on a close play, as Glen had a very loud voice.
Yes, I remember that about Glen, and he used to be just as loud in the third base coach's box here at Carson Park with those first few years of the Cavaliers. Highly successful manager for the Cavaliers.
Glen St. Arnold started with the Cavaliers in 1971 and ended his career with the Cavaliers in 1978. His best year was 1978 when he had a 51-9 record with the Cavaliers.
That's pretty impressive, and his win-loss percentage is really astounding. There was only 2 seasons in there that Glen was not the manager of the Cavaliers between 71 and 78. Doug Smith had the Cavs for a year, Jim Severson had him for a year, but otherwise it was Glen St. Arnold's team, and he was a fixture here at Carson Park. And he was a fixture here at Carson Park well before the Cavaliers. And but we have baseball coming tonight that would make Glen pretty happy, because it's going to be pretty exciting on a night where we're just hoping the weather stays away. It's kind of threatening. There are storms all around us. There were tornado warnings to the north of us. And it has memories of July 15th back in 1980. But as I was saying to some people down in the grandstand a little while ago, we've got nothing to worry about. Today is not July 15th. So we don't have anything to worry about. We're going to be all right. The Rivermen just got done with their infield practice. We're going to be ready for the home plate conversations and so on right after this timeout. You're tuned to Cavalier Baseball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training on a Friday afternoon, and the very next day he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. You don't know how much somebody can hide what's going on inside their head. Store your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Regardless of where you are on your path to retirement, you can still take charge of your financial future today. Visit aceyourretirement.org and answer a few questions from Avo, your friendly digital retirement coach, for free tips, resources, and advice customized for your situation to help you feel confident and prepared for retirement. Retirement looks different for everyone. Make sure you're prepared for your financial future at aceyourretirement.org.
And we're back here at Carson Park getting ready for tonight's ball game between the Eau Claire Cavaliers and the Eau Claire Rivermen. The managers are meeting out at home plate with the umpires, and who tonight are Trevor Colup will be behind the plate, Dick Smith out on the bases, Ryan Bemnister out there for the Cavaliers, and Andy Neese out there for the Eau Claire Rivermen. And we'll send it down for the public address announcers, pregame announcements, and lineups.
Tonight's Wrestling Memorial tonight's starting lineup beginning with the Rivermen are presented by manager Neese. Leading up, number 10, playing center field, Lance Retner. Number 7, number 1, the extra hitter, Carson Suga. And third, number 42, playing pitching, James Ayers. And fourth, number 33, playing first base, Blake Lodery. 36, number 26, playing third base, Joel Efforts. And 6, number 12, catching, Jake Becker. And 7, number 3, the DH, Andy Neese. And 8, number 2, playing second base, Brett Jensen. And 9, number 22, playing shortstop, Sawyer Sears. And then 10, number 17, playing left field, Luke Rooney. And playing right field, number 13, Tyler Gray. The Rivermen are coached by Andy Neese. And now the starting lineup for your Eau Claire Cavaliers, presented by manager Ryan Bemnister. Leading up, number 6, on second base, Caden Erickson. And second, number 4, playing center field, Xavier Bemnister. And third, number 47, playing right field, Jake O'Brien. And fourth, number 7, playing first base, Cooper Cavaney. And fifth, number 20, the DH, Jeff Redwine. And sixth, number 19, the catcher, Cole Timon. And 7th, number 27, left fielder, Campbell Kapeki. And 8th, number 5, the third baseman, Jackson Vance. And 9th, number 14, the extra hitter, Luke Erickson. And then 10th, number 17, the shortstop, Ben Soder. The Cavaliers are finished by Ryan Bemnister. He is assisted by Ryan Page and Brian Myers. The umpires tonight, on base is Dick Smith, and behind home plate, Trevor Cole.
Come on, huh? Let's get on him right away. Let's get on these.
Now, if you can, would you please rise, remove your desk, and honor America for the playing of our national anthem. Tonight's first pitches will be thrown out right now. The first pitch. Let's welcome
So we have a couple of people going out to throw out the first pitch. And let's see here. It appears as though we have Justin Held. And that one caught the inside corner. And this is Greg St. Arnold. One son. And he put that one right down the middle of the plate. Greg St. Arnold with a nice pitch, and he gets a good hand from the crowd. Real nice crowd down in the grandstand tonight in spite of the weather forecast. And so let's take a real quick look at those lineups again, just real quickly, almost as fast as you can there, Ben. Tell us who's going to be hitting for the Rivermen.
Batting first, Lance Lettner. Batting second, Carson Soka. Batting third, James Davis. Batting fourth, Blake Legering. Batting fifth, Joel Efforts. Batting sixth, Jake Becker. Batting seventh, Andy Neese. Batting 8th, Brent Jensen. Batting 9th, Sawyer Sturts. And batting 10th, Luke Rooney. Pitching will be James Davis.
And also playing out in right field, he's being designated hit for is Tyler Gray. And we've got time. Let's do the Cavs while you're at it.
Leading off for the Cavs, Caden Erickson. Batting second, Xavier Bemnister. Batting third, Gabe O'Brien. Batting fourth, Cooper Kapanke. Batting fifth, Jake Redwine. Batting sixth, Cole Timon. Batting seventh, Campbell Kapanke. Batting eighth, Jackson Vance. Batting ninth, the extra hitter, Luke Erickson. Batting 10th, Ben Boda. And Lucas Costley will be on the mound.
Okay. And Costley is warming up out there right now. He comes into tonight's game with a 6-0 record, 2.16 earned run average. He's given up 12 earned runs in 50 innings pitched. And in those 50 innings, he has struck out 48. So Lucas Costley is what you would call the workhorse of the Cavaliers. Throw goes down to second from Timon to Boda, tosses to Erickson, and then over to Vance.
fact, the Cavaliers defensively, Timon behind the plate, Vance at third, Boda at short, Caden Erickson at second, Cooper Kapanke at first, Campbell Kapanke in left, Bemnister in center, Gabe O'Brien is out in right field. Stepping to the plate, Lance Lettner. And here's the first pitch, fouled away on the left side. And the last time these two teams met, the Rivermen came out on top 4-3 in 11 innings, and Lettner went 1 for 3 and scored 2 of those runs, including the winning run. Pitch called on the outside corner. It's 0-2.
First pitch, 7:07 p.m.
Cosley looking in for the sign. And the 0-2 pitch. Line shot out into left field. Moving over is Campbell Kapanke, and he makes the catch for out number 1. That's going to bring up Carson Sokup. Last time these two teams played, Sokup went 0 for 2. Just underway from Carson Park. And a strike called on the inside corner. Trevor Cole up behind the plate. Working tonight with Dick Smith out on the bases. There's the pitch. That one's inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the pitch, fouled away on the left side. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Carson Sokup. He's the extra hitter tonight. And the pitch, chopped foul on the first base side. Count holds at 1-2. And the pitch. Broken bat. Soft little looper over to Erickson, and he throws over to Kapanke for the out. Half the bat went almost as far as the baseball.
Yes, Rick, someone is getting a free souvenir.
Either that or kindling to start their campfire with. One of the two. You know, that's nice hardwood. It's good hot burning wood. Although with all the lacquer and everything on it, I don't think I'd want to cook over it.
I know I'll be down there after the game bugging him for that bat.
Up steps the pitcher for the Rivermen, James Davis, and he takes one inside for a ball. Davis went 2 for 4 in the last meeting of these two teams. And the pitch, that's a strike on the outside corner. Cosley goes into his motion and delivers. That's just a little low. Caught the dirt right before the plate. It was over the corner of the plate. It just about hit it.
These Cavs players should know Trevor Cole, the home plate umpire.
And the pitch. Swing and a foul tip back into the glove for a strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. We're in the top of the first inning. And that pitch is inside, and the count goes full to James Davis. 3-2. Here's the pitch. Strike 3 called. Davis thought it was low, but Trevor Coleb says, no, it wasn't.
And the Rivermen go down in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We've played a half inning. Due up for the Cavaliers, Erickson, Bemnister, and O'Brien, as you're tuned to Cavalier Baseball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
I love the pizza we get when we go to Gino's Pizza.
That's because Gino's has been voted best pizza in the Chippewa Valley 5 years in a row.
I think it's because Gino's uses the freshest ingredients, premium quality meats, cheeses, savory spices, and zesty toppings, and all served with attention to detail.
Now you're making me hungry. Let's head to Gino's Pizza.
Scott and the rest of the folks at Gino's Pizza would like to invite you to come out and try the area's best pizza. Call about Monday through Wednesday dine-in specials at 715-835-2000. That's Gino's Pizza at 5110 Fairview Drive, Eau Claire, right next to Chaos Water Park.
And our Gino's player of the game today is leadoff hitter Caden Erickson for the Cavaliers. And we have fans out in the center field tower enjoying the game out there. Caden Erickson will be coming into the game with a .340 batting average. Cassie rolled the lucky 10-sided die, and it came up with the number 1, and so it's our leadoff hitter.
Something we might want to mention about Caden Erickson, if he gets 3 more plate appearances this game, he will have 100 on the season.
Actually, 3 more at-bats. It'll take 3, because walks and hit by a pitch aren't going to count.
I stand corrected.
All right, Caden is stepping to the plate. Now, the last time Caden Erickson was the Gino's player of the game, that he was successful at getting everybody the free appetizer, his dad went and picked it up for his mom. And I told his dad today that he's going to have to do it the other way around this time. Erickson fouls it down the left field line. Strike 1. So that means tomorrow when you go out to Gino's Pizza, that's right out by Highways 93 and I-94, just mention Caden Erickson's name. You'll get yourself a free soft drink. And if he scores tonight, that pitch is outside. If he scores tonight, that will bring you a free appetizer for your table. Limit 1 per table. Here's the pitch. That's inside. 2 balls and a strike. Here's the wind and the pitch. Chopper over to third base. Long throw over to first, and they got him by about a half a step.
Give Caden credit. He was hustling the whole time down there, Rick.
That was a nice throw by Joel Efforts over to Blake Logering. Defensively, the Rivermen Efforts is at third. Sawyer Stirs is at short. Brett Jensen at second. Blake Logering is at first. The pitch to Xavier Bemnister is a called strike. Jake Becker behind the plate and James Davis on the mound. Xavier Bemnister at the plate for the Cavaliers, and he hits one out into center field for a base hit. And Bemnister is on. He came into the game batting .288. That's going to bring up Gabe O'Brien. O'Brien's batting average has dipped below 300 for about the first time this season. He's been slumping a little bit lately. Be a good time for him to bust out of that. Pitch is outside for a ball. Outfield for the Rivermen. Luke Rooney, Lance Lettner, and Tyler Gray going from left to right. Here's the pitch, outside, ball 2. Davis looking over at first. Bemnister takes his lead. And the pitch. Bemnister goes, fouled off the left side.
Bemnister got a really good jump on that one.
2 balls and 1 strike. And the pitch. That just missed outside. 3 balls and 1 strike. A hitter's pitch now
for Gabe O'Brien. Bemnister takes his lead. And the pitch. Fly ball out into right field. Tyler Gray doesn't hardly have to move, and it lands right in his glove.
Gray had him played perfectly on that one.
That's going to bring up Cooper Kapanke with 2 down. Kapanke is batting .324. And the throw over to first. Bemnister back in. And the pitch. Light shot out into left center field. Rounding second, heading for third. The throw is coming into third, but Bemnister's in safely, and Kapanke has a single to left field, putting runners on the corners.
And the Cavs have something cooking with 2 outs.
That's going to bring up Jack Redwine, the designated hitter, and he's batting .257. With runners on the corners. Kapanke takes his lead at first. Let's see if they send him. Strike called on the outside corner to Redwine. No balls and 1 strike, 2 down, 2 on. Here's the pitch. Fouled away on the left side. 0-2 is the count. Bemnister leads at third. Now Davis steps off the rubber. Now he's back on. Here's the pitch. It's high for a ball. Looks like maybe the gnats are a bit of a problem out there. Players seem to be swatting them away. Here's the pitch. Low for a ball. Ann was telling me about a solution for that. She says one of the things that she has read about, and it seems to work for her, is Noxzema. We're not trying to give a plug to Noxzema, but, you know, if it works. Oh, and a strike 3 called. Trevor Kolop says it hit the outside corner. Jack Redwine didn't think so, but both teams go down on a called third strike to end the first inning. For the Cavaliers, no runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left on base. We've played an inning, and it's no score from Carson Park on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal. The sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us, on the roads that unite us. Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to be the fuel that keeps you firing on all cylinders.
Visit either of Eau Claire's 2 locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores on Highway 93 or North Claremont Avenue.
Back here at Carson Park on Glen St. Arnold and Pine Meadow Golf Course night here at Carson Park.
You know, Rick, I just got to tell one quick funny story. Speaking of the Nats earlier, in Babe Ruth baseball when I played, we had a steal signal that was when the coach would swat, like he was swatting flies or gnats. And we kept getting thrown out at second base stealing.
Because he was swatting the gnats.
Yes. We weren't supposed to steal. He was just swatting gnats. And he got so frustrated with us.
Time to change the sign.
We changed the sign.
All right, due up for the Rivermen in the top of the second. Blake Logering, Joel Efforts, and Jake Becker. Costley delivers, and it's a pop-up in foul territory. Costley coming over, and he makes the catch. He called it all the way. He had plenty of backup. Both Jackson Vance and Cole Timon were out there.
Great communication by the Cavs.
So stepping up to the plate is Joel Efforts. Strike called on the outside third of the plate. Efforts went 1 for 3 the last time these teams met. Soft fly ball out into right field, and it's foul territory. Kapanke couldn't make the catch.
It wasn't for lack of hustle. So we'll do it all over again.
Effort steps back in. No balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to Erickson over at second. Backhands it, throws it over to first in time. That's going to bring up Jake Becker, the catcher. And again, last time these teams met, Becker went 1 for 4. Costley looking in and delivers. Swing and a miss for strike 1. Here's the wind and the pitch. Just missed outside. Counts even at 1-1. High pop-up, foul territory. Cooper Kapanke's under this one. He makes the catch. And another 1-2-3 inning for the Rivermen. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We've completed an inning and a half, and we're still scoreless at Carson Park on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
When you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it, rest assured, you can still get that meal by going to Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Mom's is open daily, serving breakfast and lunch, and don't forget dinner on Friday nights with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee is always hot, the breakfast is always delicious, and lunch will put a smile on your face and in your stomach. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub.
The Eau Claire Cavaliers would like to take veterans out to the ball game. That's right. As a thank you for your service, any veteran of the United States military can receive a lifetime pass for free admission to all Cavalier home games. Just come to Carson Park with your veteran identification, and the Cavaliers will issue you a free lifetime pass to all Cavalier home games. That's just the Cavaliers' way of saying thank you for your service.
And sort of as the song used to say, clouds to the left of me, thunder to the north. Storms all around us. Cassie says we're going to get rain in about 20 minutes or so. Let's just hope that we can get enough of this game in. Do it for the Cavaliers, Cole Timon, Campbell Kapanke, and Jackson Vance. Cole Timon steps to the plate, batting .268.
Cole had an off day on Monday.
And the pitch. Fly ball out into left field. It's heading towards the corner. Foul by about 3 feet.
You could hear the oohs and the ahs in the crowd on that one.
Lance Rooney gave it a chase, but wasn't able to get over there. Didn't quite have the distance to get out of here. 319 to left field, right down the foul line. Here's the pitch. Outside for a ball. And the 1-1 pitch. Outside ball, too. Here's the pitch. Fly ball out into center field. It's hit hard. It's hit long, and it's gone! A home run for Cole Timon! His second in 3 games over the Pepsi sign in left field. And touch him all, Cole Timon. I stole your line there, Ben.
I don't know if I'm safe to throw my line, Rick, but I don't care. Touch him all, And that's just the spark the Cavs needed to start this one, folks.
So due up now for the Cavaliers as they take a 1-0 lead is Campbell Kapanke. And it's fouled back into the screen. There's the pitch. Outside for a ball.
Somehow, if Campbell Kapanke would get 5 more at-bats, he would reach 100.
And the pitch. Low for a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike to Campbell Kapanke. So home run number 2 for Cole Timon on the season. Ground ball over to third. Picked up by Efforts, throw over to first, and Kapanke goes down.
Third baseman had him played perfect.
That's going to bring up Jackson Vance. Comes into the game batting .241.
Jackson Vance.
Ground ball over to first. Logering flips it over to Davis, and they got him. 3-1 covering. And up comes Luke Erickson, the extra hitter, batting .208.
Erickson has 48 bats on the season.
And he pops that one foul out of play. You might be right, Cassie. It's getting darker and darker over there. And a check swing strike called. 0-2 now to Luke Erickson. Davis into his windup and the outside pitch for ball 1. That's the go ahead and chase me pitch. And the pitch is a little bit low. Counts even at 2-2. Ben Boda on deck for the Cavaliers. Here's the wind in the pitch. Line shot out into center field for a base hit. Luke Erickson rounds first. He's going to hold there. And up comes Ben Boda.
Ben Boda with 64 at-bats.
Batting .141. And the pitch is just inside. Made Boda do the hip pike there, where he kind of looks like a jackknife. And a pitch down the middle for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to Boda. He got a little time on the mound on Monday. Actually pitched quite well. Pitch is low. And the pitch. Fly ball, foul down the right field line. Bounces over into the fan area. Erickson retreats back over to first base. That's Luke Erickson on first. Caden Erickson on deck. Ben Boda at the plate and the pitch. Check swing foul on the right side.
Boda did a great job of protecting.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And the pitch. Fly ball out into center field. Moving over is Lettner. He's under it, and he makes the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. But for the Cavaliers, they do pick up 1 run, courtesy of Cole Timon's 2nd home run of the season. On 2 hits, there were no errors, and 1 man left on base. We've completed 2 innings, and it's the Cavaliers 1 and the Rivermen nothing on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
If your estate isn't looking quite estate-like, let Midwest Environmental Consultants landscape your estate right up to snuff with installation of retaining walls, brick patios, foundation planting beds, and so much more. Then they'll keep it that way with their expert lawn care service. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants help make your estate the showplace of the neighborhood.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, but with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. And you can change the outcome. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Back here at Carson Park, stepping to the plate in the top of the 3rd inning is Andy Neese for the Rivermen. He swings and misses for strike 1. Chase that fastball that was on the outside edge. Costley winds and fires high and inside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Andy Neese went 1 for 3 the last time these teams met. There's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. He's having a hard time catching up to Costley's fastball, which means it's a really good time for the curveball. Here it comes, and that's what he threw, but it was foul tipped in time and couldn't hang on.
I'm looking at my stats here. Andy Neese has 31 seasons in the CRBL.
Yes, he is one of the senior players in the CRBL. And the pitch. High pop up, back, coming back this way, but right over. That one hit the roof of our press box. And Cassie's going, it's not close enough. That's because it wasn't in front of your window, Cassie. It was in front of mine. Here's the pitch. Strike 3 called. Andy Neese goes down looking.
He was fooled on that one.
That's going to bring up Brett Johnson. Johnson went 0 for 5 in the first game. That first game was back in June. And the pitch. Check swing, strike called on the inside corner. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Costley delivers. High bouncer, fielded by Boda. Throw over to first. They got him. Nice play by Ben Boda. That's going to bring up Sawyer Sturz. Sturz went 1 for 4 when these two teams last met. And the pitch. Check swing outside for a ball. And the pitch. Fouled away on the right side. Counts even at 1-1, isn't it? Yes. Scoreboard's 1 pitch ahead of us. Maybe he's prognosticating. And the pitch. Inside. 2 balls and a strike. And the pitch. It's a foul away. Counts even at 2-2. Deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And the pitch. Ground ball over to short. Boda went right under his glove. And Sawyer Sturz is on an error on Ben Boda. That's going to bring up Luke Rooney, a left fielder. And Rooney went 0 for 4 last time these guys met.
This is Luke Rooney's rookie season in the CRBL. Welcome to the CRBL, Luke Rooney.
Two down, runner on first. We're in the top of the 3rd inning. And the pitch. Outside for a ball. Clouds are getting closer. And the pitch. Outside, ball 2. Costley at the belt. And the 2-0 pitch. That's outside for ball 3. My suspicion is Rooney will be taking all the way on this. You don't want to walk the hitter in the bottom of the order. This will be Costley's get me over pitch. And he delivers. And that's a strike.
I think you heard you there, Rick.
3 balls, 1 strike. And the pitch. Strike called at the letters. Count is now full. It's traveling time for Sturz over at first. Costley delivers. Sturz goes. Ball 4. That's going to take us back to the top of the order. Lance Lettner, who flew out to left field his first time up. And the pitch, he lays down a bunt, picked up by Costley, and he does not have a play. So that's going to be a bunt single.
Great hustle there.
So the bases are loaded now with 2 down. And Carson Sokup, who grounded to second his first trip to the plate. That just missed inside. Runners take their leads. 2 down. Costley delivers. That's a strike called on the inside third. Sokup didn't like that call, but from here, we've got a pretty decent angle. That one looked pretty good. One ball, 1 strike, and the pitch. That missed inside. 2 balls and a strike. Costley looks in. And the 2-1 pitch. High pop up. Out towards no man's land, but coming over is Ben Boda and makes the running catch. For the 3rd out of the inning, no runs on 1 hit. There was 1 Cavalier error and 3 were left on base. We played 2.5 innings. The Cavaliers won, and the Rivermen nothing on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Let Menominee Eye and Optical help you see the world for the beautiful place it is. Doctors Nicholas and Marianne Comro provide both comprehensive and emergency eye care for all, including pediatric and special needs patients. Whether it's examination for glasses to cataract and LASIK care, or diagnosis and management of macular degeneration, diabetic retinopathy, glaucoma, and so much more. In addition, Menominee Eye and Optical's experienced opticians will help guide you to the highest quality eye care for the best value. That's Menominee Eye and Optical, located at 520 Wilson Avenue in Menominee, where they specialize in quality, personalized care for you and your family. Back here at Carson Park, and Cassie keeps looking out the back door at the clouds moving towards us, and I keep looking out the front window at the clouds moving towards us. Maybe Cassie can get a shot of those. They're kind of ominous looking as we're heading into the bottom of the 3rd inning. Yes, that's what's coming our way. And hopefully we can get 4.5 innings in with the Cavaliers holding the lead, and then at least it would be an official game. Due up for the Cavaliers in the bottom of the 3rd inning, the top of the order, Caden Erickson, our Geno's player of the game. He'll be followed by Xavier Bemnister and Gabe O'Brien. So Erickson steps to the plate. And the pitch is inside for a ball. Make sure you mention Caden Erickson's name when you go out to Geno's tomorrow. You get a free soft drink. And the pitch, that's a strike called. Wind is blowing straight out to center field. Here's the pitch. Foul back into the screen.
Caden Erickson leads the Cavs in batting average and at-bats for the season.
He grounded to 3rd his last time up. And the pitch. Outside. Erickson had a notion and decided better against it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now there's a pretty good crowd out in that tower in center field. Ground ball over to 3rd, picked up by Efforts, throw over to 1st, and they got Erickson. 1 down brings up Xavier Bemnister, who singled to center field his last time up.
Bemnister with 59 at-bats on the season.
And he hits a fly ball out into center field, coming hard, but putting on the brakes and making the catch is Lance Lettner.
He hit it hard. He just hit it right at him, unfortunately.
Back up to the Cavaliers, the right fielder, Dave O'Brien.
And actually, that ball carried a little further than what they were expecting. O'Brien at the plate. He hits a fly ball to center field. Lettner coming in hard, loses his hat, but catches the ball. So a quick 3 up, 3 down for the Cavaliers. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We played 3, and the Cavaliers have a 1-0 lead on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN.
Royal Credit Union's low rates and flexible terms on auto loans can help keep your payments low. Get a great rate on your next car or truck purchase, or refinance an existing vehicle with an auto loan from Royal Credit Union. Royal also offers loans for buying or refinancing boats, UTVs, and other vehicles. Royal Credit Union wants to help keep your payments low. Check rates and apply for a Royal Credit Union vehicle loan online at rcu.org/autorate. Subject to credit approval.
Once again, Cassie looking out the back window going, oh, it looks so cool. And it does, as Cassie's as fascinated by storms as I am, and it's really cool. Now she got Ann to go look. And Ann goes, oh, this is fun. Due up for the Rivermen in the top of the 4th inning. We have James Davis, Blake Logering, and Joel Efforts. Cassie started to spot lightning. As long as it stays far enough away that they don't put a rain delay in, we're okay with a rain delay. We just don't want to get rained out. Davis at the plate, struck out looking his first time up. There's the pitch. That's high and inside for a ball. Costley delivers. That one caught the outside corner. Fastball for a strike. One ball,
Davis.
1 strike.
James Davis coming with 8 seasons in CRBL.
And the pitch. That was low for a ball. And the pitch. Fouled off on the right side. You know, the Nats must be getting kind of bad out there. I see Cavs with gloves in front of their face, swatting the balls away, or the Nats away. And the pitch. That's ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes. To James Davis. Costley delivers. Pop up. Erickson dropping back. Motions everybody away and makes the catch.
Erickson had him played perfectly.
Erickson dropping back into shallow right center field and made the catch. Blake Logering, who fouled out to Costley along the third baseline. His first time up. And there's a strike on the inside edge. Curveball by Costley. And the pitch. Swung on and missed. Again, the curveball. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's Costley's pitch. High pop up. Boda scooting out into shallow left field and makes the catch. 2 down. It's going to bring up Joel Efforts, and Efforts grounded to second in his first appearance.
Efforts with 5 seasons in CRBL.
Here's the wind in the pitch. Foul back off the window of the press box off to our right. Yeah, Cassie's remembering the one that came between her and our buddy Dan when it came into our press box through the window. And the pitch. Ooh, that one just missed high. 1 ball and 1 strike. And the pitch. Chop foul down the third baseline.
Efforts was one of 7 players to get a hit the last time the Cavs played the Rivermen.
And the skies to the north of us are grumbling a little bit. Here's the pitch. Strike call. Efforts didn't like that, but yes, it was. So no runs, no hits, no errors as the Rivermen go down in order. And we've played 3.5, and it's the Cavaliers 1 and the Rivermen nothing on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Let NLWN-TV and the Northern Light Webcasting Network take you out to the ballgame. Our next broadcast will be on Friday, July 21st, when we will bring you the Cavaliers taking on the Red Sox from Carson Park in Eau Claire. This is a makeup game for the one rained out on June 18th. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN-TV begins with the In the Dugout show at 12 noon. That's live Eau Claire Cavalier baseball on Friday, July 21st on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
We head into the bottom half of the 4th inning. Cooper Kapanke coming to the plate. He singled his first time up to left field. Dark clouds to the north of us. Basically, we have to get through an inning here. Fly ball out into left center field, but moving over is Lettner, and he makes the catch. That's going to bring up Jack Redwine with 1 out. Redwine went down looking his first time up.
Redwine tied for second on the team in runs scored with 18.
Here's the pitch. That one missed low and away. 1 ball, no strikes. And the pitch. Outside, ball 2. Here's the pitch. Line shot out into center field for a base hit. Jack Redwine rounds first. He's going to hold there. That brings up Cole Timon. And Cole put the Cavaliers on top with a solo home run back in the 2nd inning. Right over the Pepsi, that's what I like sign, and that's what we liked here. And the pitch. Foul back. Poor camera lady over in the other press box from one of the 2 TV stations almost flinched again. Throw over to first. Redwine back in. Redwine takes his lead. Davis looks over there. Davis at the belt. And the pitch. That's low and away for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. More grumbling from the north. And the pitch. Strike called on the outside third. See a little bit of a light show happening up to the north as well. But it's still a pretty good distance from us. I know my dogs are going to be angry. Here's the pitch. That's outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Or 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nope, 2-2. I should check Ann's score bug instead of the scoreboard. Pop foul out of play. Count holds at 2-2.
Timon is tied for second on the team with 6 doubles.
And now he's tied for the lead with 2 home runs. That home run was the 7th by the Cavaliers this season. And the pitch. Foul back into the net. And we have sirens, and the umpires have called time. And we are going to be in a weather delay right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network with the Cavaliers on top, 1-0. As we get a weather delay in the 4th inning on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. The Cavaliers are in a weather delay, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Cavalier action just as soon as possible. The Cavaliers are in a weather delay, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Cavalier action just as soon as possible.
The Cavaliers are in a weather delay, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Cavalier action just as soon as possible. Cavaliers are in a weather delay, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Cavalier action just as soon as possible. The Cavaliers are in a weather delay, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Cavalier action just as soon as possible. The Cavaliers are in a weather delay, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Cavalier action just as soon as possible. Saturday weather delay. But don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Cavalier action just as soon as possible. The Cavaliers are in a weather delay, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Cavalier action just as soon as possible.
The Cavaliers are in a weather delay, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Cavalier action just as soon as possible.
Cavaliers are in a weather delay, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Cavalier action just as soon as possible.
The Cavaliers are in a weather delay, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Cavalier action just as soon as possible.
The Cavaliers are in a weather delay, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Cavalier action just as soon as possible.
Well, there it is. The rain-soaked ballpark. And this game has been called off. It is a suspended game. The Cavaliers have a 1-0 lead with 1 out and a runner on in the bottom of the 4th inning, and that's how it will be resumed when it's resumed, and we don't know when that is going to be just yet. I'm sure they will make that decision in the next day or so. But Mother Nature had some other ideas about baseball tonight, but at least with a suspended game, Cole Timon's home run stands. And the Cavaliers still hold a 1-0 lead. Ben, real quick thoughts before we get out of here, before lightning strikes us.
Quick thoughts, Lucas Costley, great outing on the mound. He only gave up 1 hit the whole game so far.
And as I'm looking, yes, and that was a bunt single. So a good outing for the Cavaliers for part of a ball game, and the rest of the ball game is yet to be determined. So that's going to wrap it up for us on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV, and we'll be back with you on, well, wait a second here. Let me go through all the things. We're still trying to get a crew together for this one, but we want you to join us on Friday. I'm sure we'll find out something here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and NLWN-TV as we bring you the Cavaliers taking on the Cadott Red Sox in another vital CRBL game from right here at Carson Park. And this is a makeup game for another one that was rained out back on June 18. Coverage begins at 6:30 with the In the Dugout show, followed by all the play-by-play action. Also join us on Saturday, July 23rd on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and NLWN-2 as we bring you the Eau Claire Cowboys as they travel to Verona to take on the Madison Mad Dogs in their final regular season game of 2023. Coverage begins at 2:30 with Cowboy kickoff as the skies grumble at us here, followed by live play-by-play action. Today's Eau Claire Cavalier baseball game is brought to you by Gino's Pizza, right next to Action City at the intersection of Highways 93 and I-94. Midwest Environmental Consultants, lawn care and soil testing experts for Western Wisconsin. The Goat Coffee House at 336 Water Street for good coffee and great sandwiches. Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Comfort food the way Mom used to make it. Menominee Eye and Optical with quality personalized care for you and your family. Mama Squirrel's Cleaning and More, ready to get your house sparkling. Your Napa Auto Parts store at 3580 Mall Drive in Eau Claire. Slayton's Technology Service, the official IT provider for the Northern Light Webcasting Network, and Royal Credit Union, where they're different in a good way. Be sure to thank these fine sponsors for bringing you Eau Claire Cavalier Baseball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network. So, for Cassie Johnson-Nelson on the camera, and Ann Monroe on the computer, and Ben Ryder being my left-hand man here, this is Rick Olson, and the not final score of tonight's game, which has been suspended, it is the Cavaliers 1 and the Eau Claire Rivermen nothing in the bottom of the 4th inning, and it is to be continued. You've been tuned to Cavalier Baseball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
You've been watching NLWN-TV's presentation of Eau Claire Cavalier Baseball live on the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Talkin' Baseball, with a look back at today's game. Time now for Talkin' Baseball, with a wrap-up of today's Eau Claire Cavalier baseball game, presented by Mama Squirrel's Cleaning and More. And now, back out to the ballpark. You have been tuned to Talkin' Baseball with a wrap-up of today's Eau Claire Cavalier baseball game presented by Mama Squirrels Cleaning and more. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV will now have to leave. You've been watching Talkin' Baseball, a wrap-up of today's Eau Claire Cavalier game. This has been a production of NLWN-TV.